A sleepless city suddenly drowns in silence. The blackout descends like a suffocating blanket, no street lamps, no glowing windows, not even the flicker of a cigarette. Radios go dead, conversations whisper into nothing. The only sound is your own breath, heavy, uncertain. Since Pearl Harbor, fear has soaked the American West Coast, and tonight, that fear erupts. Sirens wail across the city, drowning the calm, echoing like screams from the ocean. Families sit frozen in the dark, gripping each other, waiting for the skies to deliver death. Above them, unseen shapes stalk the night. Soldiers man their guns, scanning the void for targets. But what they are preparing to fight, no one can name. 3 months earlier, Pearl Harbor had changed everything. 2,400 Americans dead. Battleships burning. The illusion of safety shattered forever. Suddenly, the Pacific, once a boundary, became a gateway for terror. The American mainland waited for its turn. And nowhere felt the weight of that fear more than Los Angeles, the nation's glittering coastal jewel, now transformed into a fortress. Anti-aircraft batteries ringed the hills. Concrete bunkers stood hidden among palm trees. Soldiers drilled the locals into silence. Every bulb extinguished during blackouts. Every car forced off the road. Every radio silenced to keep radar ears clear. Los Angeles became a city of ghosts, chasing its own shadow. By February 1942, the LA Times carried a grim nickname for the metropolis, the City of Shadows. That night began as routine, or at least what passed for routine in wartime Los Angeles. At 10:23 p.m., the blackout order rolled across the city. Homes fell silent. Car engines clicked off. Radios faded mid-sentence. The metropolis surrendered itself to the dark. No one dared test the rules. Not a lamp, not a match, not even the faint red glow of a cigarette was allowed. An exposed light could become a beacon for bombers. Families sat in blackened homes, counting seconds until the order cleared. Hours crawled by. Finally, the blackout lifted. Curtains were pulled back. Beds creaked as weary Angelenos lay down, grateful it had been just another drill. But the shadows were not done with Los Angeles. Because the worst was yet to come, at a time when no one expected it. 2:21 a.m. The city awoke in terror. Air raid sirens pierced the silence, a shrill, unrelenting cry that shredded the calm of sleep. Los Angeles was thrown back into darkness. Radios went mute once again. The endless hum of electricity stopped, leaving only the howl of warning sirens echoing between the hills. Families ran outside, faces tilted upward, eyes straining against the void. Searchlights erupted from rooftops and hillsides, piercing the heavens with stark white beams. Dozens of luminous fingers clawed across the sky, searching for predators ready to rain fire. Children clung to their parents. Neighbors huddled together in yards and driveways. What were the soldiers looking at? Above the rooftops, the beams seemed to circle, then lock onto something unseen, something vast that lingered in the frozen black. This was not a drill. This was war, or something masquerading as it. At 3:06 a.m., the searchlights converged. Dozens of beams locked onto a single, glowing form above Culver City. For the first time that night, the soldiers had a target. The roar came almost instantly. Anti-aircraft batteries opened fire, cannons pounding shells into the fragile night air. 3-inch explosives arced upward, bursting with thunder. The sky lit with bursts of fire, tracer rounds streaking orange, smoke blotting the stars. From the ground, it looked like the world was ending. To some, the detonations seemed like bombs crashing into the streets, as if Japanese squadrons had finally descended. Mothers screamed. Men pointed trembling fingers at the heavens. Others dropped to their knees, convinced the apocalypse had arrived over California. Witnesses later described the sight as otherworldly, an inferno above the skyline, unexplainable, mesmerizing and terrifying. Yet the more they fired, the less they understood. Whatever was caught in those beams seemed untouchable, impossibly resilient. The city roared with gunfire, but the target would not fall. Below, Los Angeles unraveled. Families flooded into the streets. Cars surged onto darkened highways, headlights forbidden, drivers navigating through sheer panic. Traffic gridlocked. Horns blared. The air stank of smoke and confusion. Some tried to flee the city entirely, cramming possessions into vehicles, desperate to escape a battle no one could see clearly. The cost was brutal. 3 civilians died in car accidents during the scramble. 2 more collapsed from heart attacks, claimed by terror itself. To those trapped within the noise, Los Angeles no longer felt like a city. It had transformed into a war zone, a battlefield without borders. Yet amid the chaos and fire, one truth screamed louder with every passing minute: no bombs were falling. No enemies struck from above. Something else was happening. By 4:14 a.m., the guns finally fell silent. A ceasefire echoed through the ranks, leaving only the faint hum of smoke drifting above the city. Hours later, at 7:25 a.m., the blackout lifted, and daylight crept across Los Angeles. But clarity did not come with the sun. Instead, confusion deepened. Newspapers erupted with wild, conflicting reports. Some articles described squadrons of enemy bombers flying overhead. Others spoke of crafts shot down, crashing into neighborhoods. But no wreckage was ever found. Nothing burned on the ground. Then came the photograph. A haunting image printed across front pages, 8 spotlights converging on a glowing form in the skies. Blurred, almost spectral, the silhouette ignited more questions than answers. Something had been there, yet no one could name it. The military tried to explain, but explanations only fueled the chaos. Secretary of the Navy Frank Knox faced reporters first. His statement was blunt: there was nothing in the sky. The barrage, he claimed, was the result of jittery nerves, of frightened men firing blindly into the night. Panic had infected the defense batteries, and Los Angeles had paid the price. But the story did not end there. Days later, Secretary of War Henry Stimson issued his own chilling statement. Not only had there been aircraft, he said, but they were not American. In the sharp contrast between 2 of the nation's most powerful voices, the mystery only thickened. Were the people of Los Angeles victims of nervous imagination, or witnesses to something their own government could not control? The eyewitness testimony refused to die quietly. Those who watched the sky that night told stories of objects that defied logic. They said beams locked onto a shape that hovered, unmoving, as if taunting the guns. Then, in the blink of an eye, it accelerated, vanishing faster than any known plane. Others swore they saw clusters of glowing craft drifting together, spreading apart, and reappearing at impossible altitudes. To many historians, these accounts were simply exaggerations born from wartime fear. But decades later, ufologists seized on the details. They spoke of memos, allegedly written by General George Marshall to President Roosevelt, describing the recovery of 2 strange craft, one near Catalina Island, the other in the San Bernardino Mountains. The objects, Marshall allegedly claimed, resembled nothing on Earth. Interplanetary, not Japanese. For believers, the Battle of Los Angeles became the first great American UFO battle. World War II gave rise to more mysteries in the skies. Allied pilots in Europe soon reported shimmering orbs that defied pursuit. They called them Foo Fighters, glowing shapes in red, yellow, and green that shadowed their planes at impossible speed. Sometimes, the lights flew solo. Other times, several appeared, flanking bombers like silent predators stalking prey. Pilots tried to shake them with dives, but the orbs followed effortlessly, then simply dissolved into the night. To the men who risked their lives daily, these phenomena were more than illusions. They were intelligent, deliberate. And as reports grew, researchers looked back toward Los Angeles, and wondered if the same mystery had revealed itself over California months before. Whispers later surfaced of documents written by President Franklin D. Roosevelt himself. Unauthenticated, perhaps forgeries, but haunting nonetheless. In these alleged memos, FDR spoke of non-terrestrial science and technology, suggesting America must prepare to harness wonders beyond human origin. Some researchers believe Roosevelt had begun to accept a chilling reality: humanity was not alone. One recovered line suggested, "We will use these wonders after the war is won." If authentic, they paint a picture of a president grappling with truths hidden from the public, truths born not from the minds of men, but from something watching above. The truth mattered less than perception. The American people had proven before how easily hysteria could take hold. February 25, 1942 ended with Los Angeles still standing, but scarred. No enemy bombers lay wrecked in the streets. No foreign pilot was captured. Not a single fragment of evidence was recovered. All that remained were the broken windows of frightened families, the cracked pavement from falling shells, and the psychological wounds of a night no one could explain. Was it mass hysteria, an overreaction to shadows and nerves? Or did the people of Los Angeles truly witness something beyond comprehension? The Battle of Los Angeles remains one of World War II's strangest enigmas, a night when fear turned the sky into fire, and secrets rained down in silence. Whatever the truth, the shadows of that night have never lifted. The mystery still hovers over history, unanswered, and waiting. The truth may never be revealed, but the shadows still whisper. If you want to keep uncovering the secrets they tried to bury, subscribe to Beyond the Sky, and join us, where the mysteries of the unknown never sleep.